Since we reject any hadith that contradicts the Quran, even if labeled authentic in hadith books, I've come across comments like, "So you think you're right and the majority of Muslims are wrong? Do you believe you know more than scholars?" What's your response to that?
Omar, the truth isn't about how many people believe in something. Just because the majority follows a certain path doesn't make it right. What matters is whether it aligns with the Quran. Allah clearly warns us in chapter 6, verse 116. And if you obey most of those upon the earth, they will lead you away from the way of Allah. They follow nothing but assumption, and they are only guessing.
That's a strong point. So even if 99% of people believe something, it could still be completely wrong.
Exactly. A great example is the story of Prophet Nuh. Out of an entire nation, only a few followed him. Allah said in chapter 11, verse 40, "And none believed with him except a few." Truth has never been about numbers. It's about sincerity, understanding, and sticking to what Allah revealed. The Quran repeatedly shows that most people are often ungrateful, disbelieving, or misled. Look at these examples. In chapter 12, verse 103, Allah said, "Most of the people, even if you strive for it, are not to be believers." And in chapter 13, verse 1, "But most of the people do not believe." And in chapter 17, verse 89, "But most of the people refuse except disbelief." And in chapter 25, verse 44, "They are like cattle, no, more astray in path." And in chapter 25, verse 50, "But most of the people refused except disbelief." And in chapter 40, verse 59, "But most of the people do not believe." And in chapter 2, verse 243, "But most of the people do not give thanks." And in chapter 12, verse 38, "But most of the people do not give thanks." And in chapter 12, verse 40, "But most of the people do not know." And in chapter 40, verse 61, "But most of the people do not give thanks."
You're right, Adam. As long as I'm following the Quran, I know I'm on the right path, regardless of what the majority says.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.